Tomorrow marks our first day of our flounder season here in North Carolina. Just want to make a video to share with you what I'm doing in preparation for day one of fishing for flounder in North Carolina. As you know, I do catch flounder throughout the year, but tomorrow is special because we actually get to keep the flounder we catch. The only rule is you can only keep one. It has to be a minimum of 15 inches. And again, we only have 2 weeks to keep flounder here in North Carolina. Now, I did make a video earlier in the week or last week about how the flounder season has changed, so you can definitely check that out so you can better understand why it's such a big deal that we actually have a flounder season, even if it's 2 weeks. That being said, let me just kind of show you, or at least talk about all the things I'm doing to prepare so that if you are looking to fish for flounder here in North Carolina, or maybe you're just trying to fish for flounder yourself, no matter where you might be, this is something you might want to consider doing. Again, this is just my personal experience and what I've done over the years to get better at catching flounder, but you're more than welcome to drop a comment down below if you have some suggestions that will help anybody as well as myself. First things first, if you've been following along, I've been using like a 3-foot kid cast net. Bait is running, and usually I fish with live bait. I've caught some flounder with fresh shrimp, but I'm gonna primarily be using fresh bait because it's running thick. That being said, I had to get a new cast net. So I ordered one yesterday from Dick's Sporting Goods. It's Betts Old Salt. I ended up getting a 6-foot net. Thought about an 8, but 6 feet is more than enough. It's gonna get a bigger diameter for me to cast. I can get a lot further, and it's gonna sink a lot faster. So hopefully, again, less cast, more bait. That's the hopes. So took care of the cast net issue that I've been, or at least contemplating for the last several weeks, if not month, to decide whether to get one or not. We got that. Next thing I needed to make sure was that I had hooks, which I have plenty, but I ended up just getting another set because, again, that's the last thing I want to run out in the event that I use my hooks, and particularly where I fish at, you know, I'm gonna get snagged. Again, high risk, high reward, but you're gonna lose tackle, so you wanna make sure you have plenty to work with. Also got myself some leader line, because again, this is part of my setup. For those who don't know, I fish primarily with what is called a Carolina rig. Again, this is just a few pieces. You have an egg weight. Usually I'm fishing with a 1/2 ounce to an ounce. Depending on how the current might be moving, you might want to go up. But again, I've caught some big fish with 1/2 ounce to an ounce. I try not to go any bigger than that, again, unless I'm in some very serious moving water where I'm trying to make sure my bait is not moving too far along where it doesn't give a chance for a fish to get on it. But I have beads that I use. Typically I use red color beads, and then again, you know, barrel swivel that I use with my Carolina rig. And then I'm typically going with a 30 pound fluorocarbon leader line. I've used any, you know, small 25 pounds as well, but again, depending on the size of fish you're going for, my biggest flounder I ever caught, 27.5 inch, 9 pounds. Just recently caught a 24 inch as well as a 22 inch. So again, those are big flounders. I'm hoping we get some plus 20 because that's kind of like the sweet spot. My goal is to beat the 27.5 inch, which I came pretty close. I caught a 27 inch earlier in the year, but again, out of season, so trying to do it during the season. But also, in the event I want to go with some soft plastic, I got some Zoom, what is this, 5 inch? Yeah, 5 inch saltwater white pearl fluke. Again, I feel like this color here works really well because the water I'm fishing in, those, you know, intercoastal saltwater, it is also brackish because you have the Cape Fear River that feeds into the intercoastal waterway. So I will fish sometimes with soft plastic as well as other assortment of soft plastic in a jig head or a bucktail, again, depending what the mood is. But again, I primarily do Carolina rig with live bait because live bait is thick right now. Primarily what I want to make sure that I have all set up is having my bag packed properly with all my gear, as far as my pliers, my scale, my Ziploc bags, because again, I can, you know, once we get back into the dock, I can clean my bait, fillet and everything, bag it, put it on ice. Again, make sure I have enough leader line, hooks, swivels, weights. Ironically, I went to Walmart to pick up some tackle after kind of taking inventory of what I had. And unfortunately, Walmart was picked clean because, again, it is flounder season tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure everyone had the same thing on their mind. I actually ran into a buddy of mine, and we both almost simultaneously said flounder. You know, we're looking for gear to go flounder fishing, and none of the stuff you needed to set up a Carolina rig at least was there unless you're trying to fish with a 4 ounce. You know, anything with a 4 ounce weight or bigger, which is absurd unless you like surf fishing. Another thing I do in preparation for really anytime I go fishing, but just to save myself time, is I have this pool noodle hack that I made a video about where I pre-tie my hooks to my leader line, and then this fits perfectly in my tackle bag. This just saves so much time when you have to break your line off and you want to get back in the game. I can't say how much this helps with cutting down how much time it takes to tie your hook and being able to get your line back in the water. The only thing I probably could have done, and I would recommend, is maybe 50% of it maybe having swivels on it. I don't do swivels because, again, that's much easier to tie than having a hook that you're having to make sure you don't get hooked with. But you can also put swivels on to save yourself time, especially if that breaks off as well when you're fishing. This doesn't have swivels, but you can do that as well. But as a pool noodle hack, recommend you give this a try and check out the video. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see how to make this. The only other thing that I got to make sure that I have together is, again, all my tackle. I am going to bring some soft plastic, whether it be voodoo shrimp, some jig heads, some bucktails that I have, just in case I want to go artificial. And then really it's just making sure all my camera gear is set up because I'm going to be filming, whether it might be live streaming. I got to make sure my GoPros are charged, my portable batteries as well, and just make sure I have all the camera gear in place in my bag so that I don't have to worry about it when I wake up in the morning, because I'm going to be out before or just as the sun's coming up, because I know it's going to be busy. I imagine it's going to be insane. I know in previous years, like, the boat ramp is packed out, like there's no space. So luckily for me, I don't have to worry about trailing my boat because I keep my boat in the water. It's just a matter of getting out, finding some bait, and again, bait's been running everywhere, so that hopefully should be really easy to do, and then find a spot, and then hopefully get fishing with some of my buddies. Hopefully get some flounders that we can catch, cook, clean. But if you are new to flounder fishing, whether in North Carolina or somewhere else, hopefully this will help you in preparation for your fishing day. If you're looking to target flounder, this is just what I am doing personally to get myself set up